Hey everyone, Sprawlsy here and welcome to my channel. I have been reading through the Chronicles of Narnia books, and as I go through I am giving my review of the book. So far I have reviewed The Magician's Nephew and The Lion, The Witch in the Wardrobe. I still need to get through The Horse and His Boy, Prince Caspian, Voyage of the Dawn Treader, The Silver Chair and The Last Battle. I am now at book number 3 in the reading order, so I am going through the books in reading order as opposed to any other publication writing order. So I have read The Horse and His Boy, which is number 3 in reading order. In the timeline of Narnia, this takes place during The Lion, the Witch in the Wardrobe. If you've read the book or seen the movie, then you'll know at the end of this book the 4 kids become kings and queens of Narnia and get to enjoy many years as kings and queens in Narnia. The Horse and His Boy is during that time frame. So in a nutshell, the story is, well Narnia is a country of the world, and then there are many other countries which include humans in them. And in this story, the boy, whatever his name is, I can't remember his name. What is his name? Uh-oh. This is not good. I've only read this recently and I can't remember the character names. Shasta. So the boy's name is Shasta. He meets a talking horse that was kidnapped from Narnia or something to that effect. And they aim to travel from this faraway country all the way to Narnia. And along the journey, they come across a girl with another talking horse. And so the 4 of them all together travel to Narnia. And during the story, they get to meet Susan, Lucy and Edmund, who were 3 of the kings and queens of Narnia. So they don't have a big role, but they do have relevance to the story when you meet them. I will just say, you don't see Peter in this one at all. He is mentioned, but he doesn't feature in it, unfortunately. And as these main characters, so the boy, the girl and the 2 horses, travel to Narnia, they have a few adventures and stop a plot for one of the countries that's trying to take over Narnia, which also features or ends with a bit of a battle for Narnia. This book is a bit longer than the other 2 I've read so far and was a bit more meaty to read through, so it took a little bit longer for me to read through. Basically, the first 2 books I read in a couple of days, this one took a few days. This is longer, a bit meatier and slightly tougher to read, but still very enjoyable. Aslan does feature in this, but in a much smaller capacity, and it kind of adds to his godlike status, or that he's very magical and is almost all-knowing, but comes across like a bit of a douchebag in a way. Kind of does stuff or lack of stuff. It's really hard to explain. Like Aslan wants you to do something in particular, but does not tell you at all what it is he wants you to do until you've figured that out for yourself after much pain and suffering to get there, when he could have probably been a bit more helpful to begin with. Kind of felt like that in The Lion, the Witch in the Wardrobe. Aslan seems to have had the power to defeat the witch, but waits 1,000 years to do it. So whilst the witch has been conquering Narnia and doing evil stuff, Aslan's just been allowing it to happen when he could have stopped her straight away, I think. Some of that sort of carries into this book, where I just think Aslan could actually do something, but doesn't until much later on, when lots of pain and suffering have happened so far. So compared to the other 2, this is quite a different book. whereas The Magician's Nephew and The Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe were quite grand in scale in a way. This is much more narrow focus, sort of just following these characters on their own individual journey, which just so happens to feature a bit of a threat to Narnia as a whole. It is a very different style of read, and again a lot is still left to your imagination and almost plays on fear of the dark in some places where you're kind of imagining ghosts coming out of some creepy areas. So it plays on that little feature a bit. And again, for the battle itself, largely left to your imagination, as is quite a fair chunk of the book. Again, keeping in style with C.S. Lewis's style, which I have kind of picked up from the other two books. Kind of gives you the broad strokes, but leaves your imagination to fill in the details. Which is quite a neat trick, but again, sometimes quite annoying when you want to know just what's going on. In a nutshell, or in summary, it's a longer book, still enjoyable read, quite different to the other two, which is quite nice, and gives a bit more context to the world that Narnia is within. Basically, Narnia is a country, and there are other countries there as well, a lot of which have humans, and humans depicted as the flawed creatures we are, as in the real world. There's been no movie on this one, but who knows, there might be in the future. I hope there might even be some TV series in the making of the Chronicles of Narnia. But despite being Chronicles of Narnia, Narnia doesn't actually feature in this. Most of the time the characters are in another country. You don't actually see much of Narnia until the end of the book. But it is referenced a lot because these characters are trying to get there. And Narnia is depicted a bit too much as this idealistic country. But still very enjoyable. Give it a read, and again, it fits in during the reign of King Peter, Susan, Edmund and Lucy, when they're kings and queens of Narnia. That brings me now to the end of this review. So again, this is a solid read, and if you're interested in the fantasy stuff, give it a read. It is there as part of the Chronicles of Narnia. That is now the end of this review. If you like it, please do like and subscribe. Check out the other videos, and I will be back to review the next book in the Chronicles of Narnia soon. As for now, have a fantastic rest of your time. See you soon. Bye!